Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. I thought I'd do a video today regarding the June solstice. Why all the cultures around the world celebrated the June solstice. No matter what culture or what hemisphere they're in, they celebrated the June solstice. And it's all about Pleiades. Goes way back in time. Paganism, when the young females danced around the fire, either naked or in their white gowns, which represents virginity. Okay? And the fire represents the Milky Way. And all the mythological stories are about the divine rebirth and the Milky Way. Okay? So you've got the fire as the Milky Way. Why the Milky Way? Because each hemisphere has a Milky Way. And at a particular time of the year, they come around and they marry up like this. You see them curved all the time, but there's a point in the season where it goes like this. And they marry up. It's like a North Pole and a South Pole come around connecting. That's the bridge. That's the golden bridge in all religion. That's a divine moment in time. It happens at a particular time of the year. But anyway, back to Pleiades, is the June solstice, is the coming of that period. All the females are being prepared for this divine moment. And this divine moment is about rebirth, spiritual enlightenment. And it's initiated by a male. Okay? So a male has to wake up consciously. And then someone on earth, a female, is married to him spiritually. This is all in religion and myths and legends. That's what it's all about. A divine moment in time. It only happens at a certain time of the year. And that's when Virgo is out in the night sky. And so the women are celebrating, it's connected to virginity because you've got to be pure. And it's all about being purified before you're being reborn. That's the spiritual story. That's why you have to die before you regain your life, your spiritual life. It's a spiritual death and a spiritual awakening. It's a spiritual birth. That's why it's a virgin birth and connected with Virgo. So the woman, it's all about virginity, being purified before the marriage. They're preparing themselves for the coming of this moment. So you got the June solstice, right? The coming of Pleiades. And Pleiades is, there's a question involved there. Is there 6 stars or is there 7? Well, the story is this, to the naked eye, it's only 6. But the moon gives her 1/7. The moon always gives her 1/7. And the moon always gives her 1/7 to man's awakening. In other words, he has to raise his 6 chakras on his own. But then the moon will come along, the full moon in his moon sign that it was in at conception, his conception. It will add the 1/7 to finish him off, reach purple. Okay? Understand the colour purple. Where was that mentioned quite a bit? The Kabbalion, maybe? No. Greek mythology. There's another video coming up regarding Greek literature. Okay? Understanding Greek. All the stories regarding the Greeks. Everything goes back to Greek. Not Hebrew, Greek. So the woman, you're represented by the virgins because it's purification before you're reborn. It's about the preparation for that divine moment that's coming, which is in the June solstice, coming after the June solstice. The fire being the Milky Ways, because it's all about the alignments, the North and South Pole alignment, create the divine bridging. Crossing the Red Sea type thing, or that involves actually going that way, a parting of the Red Sea, but There's this connecting point before that. So, what else we got here? So, yeah, Pleiades. So, there's 6 stars to the visual eyes. And the moon is the female. She's the mother of creation. The female. Fertility, she represents all creation, the whole divine story. Because for man, all birth, creation on life concerns the moon, the phasing of the moon. And the spiritual rebirth of man concerns his full moon in his sign, his conception sign. This has never been revealed before in history, okay? Not for hundreds, if not thousands of years. This is all new information, okay? So that's why they're celebrating it. Pleiades is coming, representing the female, and some mythological stories is she's being chased. They're being chased. You could say by the men running after them to find their female, you know. And so you could say it's Orion's belt, because Orion's belt does come up and behind. But I tend to think it's to do with Pegasus. The divine male comes out of Pegasus, the constellation Pegasus. Okay? So all the constellations are like tribes, families. Everybody it comes from one of those tribes. So wherever the constellations and the stars were during your conception is basically your family, your spiritual family. And that comes around again for your divine rebirth. So you've got Orion, the great hunter, chasing up and behind. But so you've got the June solstice, 21st, and this year in particular, we have the full moon bang on the June solstice. That's pretty freaky. That's the ultimate. I haven't looked up what moon sign it is though. And earlier on in the year we had the other divine solar eclipse, didn't we? The one that finished off the cross. Remember the one in 2017? Then you got the one in the other way around. The 4th of April, was it? 2024. So anyway, this is in preparation for the August, because it's all about this divine moment in August, the ultimate one. It's the whole Jesus story, actually, is the solar eclipse in August, 21st of August. And this is the start of, it's all to do with the lion, Leo, because it's right on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, the solar eclipse. And then the sun moves into Virgo, Virgin Mary, right? Virgo. And the moon's over here at full moon, when it turns to a full moon in Pisces. So there's the other cross, you see. You've got whichever way you want to look at it. Let's see, you've got the solar eclipse up here, Leo or Virgo. And then you have over here Taurus, is it? And down below, getting confused which I'm looking at it. But anyway, you've got Leo, and you've got the moon. You've got the sun and the moon. And then you've got the sun and the moon again. There's two. This is why we have the cross, the two solar eclipses. And we've had them both. One represents the northern hemisphere, one represents the southern hemisphere. This year was the northern hemisphere. How do you know? Only one man knows all this stuff. Because it was 15 days from the full solar eclipse to the full moon. If it's representing the southern hemisphere, it's 16 days. And this can take you back to the Roman story of the two brothers, the 15 and the 16-year-old. That's one little connection. Okay? So, and all the cultures around the world, celebrated this period, and they all have their myths and beliefs. So the Aborigines, they have one which concerns the fire. Their emu represents the Milky Way. They stretch out an emu through the Milky Way. The main body part is the back of the sun. Always remember the Milky Way at night that bulge in the middle is representing the back of the sun. In good photography, you can see the white cloud on behind it. It's quite obvious it's the back of the sun, but you know, your science and all that, they like to bullshit everybody. Tell them they live on a spinning ball. So, and then the long neck and the head always represents the northern centre, because on the flat earth system, north is where all the energy is. It's all about the human brain. It's at the centre of everything. Northern hemisphere Arctic is the centre of everything. That would be the head of the emu. Comes out to the body, and then the tail, or the legs. Why does it have two legs? Because the feet represent the ground. You find this in a lot of mythological stories. The feet, or something's representing you're touching the ground. Okay. Other cultures, one of them has a log, represented by a log, and that log can represent the Milky Way as well, and the fire. There has to be a fire in it, and it's known as bad luck if the fire burns out before it's reached the end of the log or something like that. And this is to do with spiritual awakening. You've got to keep this, when you go through the spiritual enlightenment, there's something flushes through your system. You've got to keep it alive till the full termination of that period. It only lasts half an hour. You don't want to cut it short, because you'll cut short of the whole divine event. So there's one aspect of it. Bad luck if you finish it before the 30 minutes. But also the log is connected to the obelisk and the phallus, because the whole divine event, it's like I said, it's based, its foundation is the male. Excuse me. This is why the religious stories are all concerning the male. So it has to be initiated by the male, and then so he becomes the king, and he will pair with a female. Somewhere on earth there'll be a pairing. There's some sort of spiritual connection between this other being on earth, as in heaven as well. And that's in the Milky Way. So in heaven you've got this pairing in the Milky Way, because you have a male into the Milky Way and a female into the Milky Way. Your star will come into the Milky Way, and so will hers, and there'll be some sort of pairing going on. Well, on earth there's the same thing. There's a pairing going on. I'm sure you'll get to connect with this person, whether you know it's them or not, I'm not sure. But this log, the obelisk, right? And in a lot of this Greek mythological stories, Egyptian, showing you the old rock hard thingamajiggy, because it all culminates. It ends in ejaculation, and that's like the creation of the world. It's one of the mythological stories. The world was created by someone spoofing into the flippant sky or whatever. Because the man's awakening, all the adrenaline's in his system. If you've got all that adrenaline, all that energy, and you're in the middle of the night, and let's say you're Jesus and you got Mary next to you, how are you going to get yourself to sleep? What are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? All this energy. Okay? That's just the way the story goes, okay? So it goes through his body, and it has to come back up, and that's creation. The Milky Way represents that. This is all divine stuff no one's ever spoken about, okay? So you consider yourself privileged. That's how the phallus is connected with all the mythological stories of creation. And that point of creation, even the Aborigines, they have this shape, and it's connected to Orion's belt. You want to look up all the myths concerning June solstice or the winter solstice. Keep it with June, because some cultures start going to December solstice. So it's all about the June solstice. They've got this symbol that represents the eye of Ra, the fish symbol, and they mention the fish. There's a story, don't eat the fish or something or other. It's to do with Pisces. I've got it all on my phone, but if I start looking through it, the camera will run out. I've got a lot of information on my phone there. I could do a video too, but they show the fish and the 3 stars of Orion's belt, because and it's about the axis point. These stars, something represent the axis point, but it's your zenith, your arc of horizon, and where Orion's belt is at the time. It's to do with Orion's belt being up here somewhere. Okay, but there's another bit to that story. It's not really there, but it is in the alignment of the 2 curves, the 2 hemisphere star rotations. They are at the apex and lining up, boom, before they get to you. So the spiritual event alignment is 4 hours before the subject, but it's a few days away from aligning above at your zenith, if you know what I mean. Every man has his arc of horizon, his zenith, for the Orion belt to be there. It's way before that. The alignment takes place where you do not see it. This is all connected with mist and the woman wearing the veil over her face. It's all hidden. All the mystery is all hidden. It's to do with marriage, male and female. You know? Yeah. I'll pick a few things off my phone, because it might... just check the time. We're only at 16 minutes, so let's go and read some, okay? Well, almost exclusively all of the tribes refer to the sun as a woman. This is the problem with the Aborigines, apparently. Otherwise, they've misinterpreted it, because they've got it round the other way. They have the sun as the woman and the moon as the man. Well, that's wrong. That's back to front. If anything, the sun is the male. He is the male. He's the X and Y. He's the male and female. That's why he's the hermaphrodite, or Aphrodites. You know? And he's separated from his female half when he enters the physical world. I'm talking... You go back up there, the constellation. The Milky Way. The male end is male and female. And the other end is just female. Double X. Male is X and Y. But within those X's and those Y's, or X's down here at the female, it breaks down to more X's and Y's. It's like our firmament. You've got the 7 inert gases, but they break down to 7 within the 7. Okay, I've done plenty of videos on that. So let's just read what they've got here. Of the tribes, refer to the sun as the woman and the moon as a man. They have varied stories interpreting their celestial rhythms, ranging from the moon reaching obesity when at full moon, to the point of needing to be cut down to loose the weight, with some interpreting the sun woman walking through the dark sky with a torch on a search. Look, interpreting the sun woman. No. So they're getting it all confused. I think they've just confused the story. I'm sure the original Aborigines knew it was the other way around. So the sun woman is the male and the female, the Milky Way. Interpreting the sun woman walking through this dark sky with a torch on a search. Well, it's both ends of the Milky Way, isn't it? And the sun and behind is the torch for the search. And searching in this situation is meaning they're looking for the divine being, the coming of Christ, who's going to be the lucky man, who's going to be the one to be marrying one of these virgin females. And in Western culture, Orion and Orion's belt is used as a distinguished marker in the sky. The Yolgnu people in Northern Territory see the 3 stars. I lost that one. Let's finish up that one. Another screenshot. Lights and lanterns. In ancient Celtic societies, So the Abos, they knew about the Orion's belt. They all the nations, all the cultures respected Orion's belt, the 3 stars, because that's representing the divine period. That's the divine alignment, where the 3 stars meet at both apexes, both zeniths and the arcs. The Orion's belt comes through the gap, the tropical celestial gap. You got the star rotation of the south, the star rotation of the north. When it hits there, right on your moment in time, is right on the apex of that, the mountain, going up the mountain, right at that alignment. That's the divine period. You want it to be at your full moon. That's all connected with the exact spot, which is the Piscis, Pisces. In ancient Celtic societies, the winter solstice was one of the most important festivals of the year. It was associated with the symbolic concept of spiritual death and rebirth, see, and would be celebrated through feasting with family and friends. A bonfire, which also traditionally be lit to symbolize the presence of light in the darkness. There's some weird things going on with my phone now. It's all changed. Flipping hell. I've lost all my emojis and all that. Light is an important feature of many Australian winter solstice celebrations today, with light festivals and lantern parades maybe being held in many cities. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just go on to the next one now. The tradition of the Yule log started in Scandinavia, where Yule was the traditional name for the winter solstice festival. This name is now sometimes used for Christmas in some parts of the world, but it was originally the pagan midwinter festival centered around the winter solstice. The Yule log was a large piece of wood that was brought into the house and placed on the hearth. Sometimes it would be decorated with local seasonal plants, candles and ribbons. It would then be set alight, blah 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 blah. Also, what's related to that is a lot of colour, like rainbow colours and stuff. And that takes you back to man's arc of horizon in the Bible when it says when you see a rainbow, you will remember that moment or something or other, because it's all to do with the 6 colours. Raising your chakras, get to the 7th, all about purple. All over the world there are structures and stone circles that align with the positions of the rising and setting sun on the summer and winter solstices, showing how important these celestial events were to ancient civilizations. The tradition of the gathering at culturally significant or sacred sites for the winter solstice has been happening for thousands of years. People stay up all night to look at the stars before watching the sun rise, welcoming the coming of the lighter, brighter day. So you could say, oh yeah, what's the coming of, you're going downhill now towards the summer, but you've still got a fair way to go. It's probably Stonehenge, something of Stonehenge, England, which is more than 3,600 years old. However, there is a site in Australia that is thought to possibly precede Stonehenge, the Woody Yuang stone arrangement in Victoria. Woody Yang is an Aboriginal stone arrangement in the shape of a large oval. Oval as in Pisces. The connection, the bridging between the 2 hemisphere circles, the overlay, talked about a lot, about 50 metres in diameter. Its age is currently unknown, but it is thought to be between 2,500 and 11,000 years old. Its arrangement seems to have been designed to map the movements of the sun throughout the year. Yeah, I can't see any more of that. Let's move on to the next one. Throughout the year. It features 3 large stones at its apex, Orion's belt again, which align with the positions of the setting sun at the summer and winter solstices. That's their interpretation. Equinoxes. This demonstrates that, in fact, Aboriginal Australians may have been the world's earliest astronomers before even the ancient Greeks. However, this ancient site is perhaps not as widely known as the other stone circles, the Australian standing stones. Blah, blah, blah. What do we got here? Hugely popular. That's just something else. Yeah, okay, that's all I had there. But look up in any cultures, they celebrated that period. It was all about virginity, the female, the mother of creation, which is the moon, and the preparing for their divine spiritual marriage. See that going on? That's what goes on between the tropics, the tropical zone, see? Capricorn and Cancer. It's all in physics, it's just, everything's connected. Marrying, look, South Pole, North Pole, female, male. But in here is the female. That's the female end of the Milky Way. Over this way is the male end that comes up from this over here, because all the energy is created within the tropics here. The electromagnetic induction gets fed over to feed the pure plasma sun. That's the male end of the Milky Way. Look at the Milky Way at night, you see a white cloud on behind, that's the sun facing away. And then the other end comes off the earth. That's why it's represented by the legs, okay, the bulge, and then up here, well, this is the other way around, okay, but you come back to our realm. The Milky Way will come off the earth, off the horizon, the legs, the bulging sun, and then the head representing north. Always realise that our creator realm is inverted to creation, the opposite. It's like magnetism and electrical. So I think that's enough on, that's the Matariki. That's the Maori Matariki. They celebrate the woman, the female. That's the Maori culture in New Zealand. Not that they know anything about that. That's all been wiped from their history. You've got the Maoris, I've gone over the Aborigines, and you had the Scandinavian. There's the pagan. There's probably plenty more stories. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of stuff, check out my Patreon. Put a thumbs up and share. Catch you.